What's going on, guys? If you saw my last video with the Dodge, we did a leveling kit on it with new shocks, all that stuff. Well, we did some spacers, did some mud flaps. I was talking about how I was going to adjust these as far forward to get the tires from not rubbing. Well, we did that, still rubs. So what we have to do is change out these arms. They come with, or there's other aftermarket companies, so we did an Amazon special. The bars are really strong. So we're doing a 2-inch to 3-inch leveling kit arms is what they call them technically. So they'll be longer and kick the axle forward, and we won't have all this rubbing nonsense going on. You can get away with 33s. I'm running 35s. You wouldn't have any rubbing, especially with 2-inch spacers. But 35s, Toyos, they're very blocky. So versus like if you had some BF Goodriches that were 35s, they're round tires, very round. So we're gonna get these arms all knocked out. Not that hard for anybody who's trying to do it. So you'll take a jack, lift it up on this side of the axle, put it on the frame back here. Make sure you guys have some really strong jacks, not some little itty bitty dudes that can break. Both sides. We'll do one side at a time and get these arms in here. So these are the arms that we're using. These are actually DOM style. They're pretty heavy duty, some really thick bushings on them. So they're made a certain way here. So I'll have to figure out which way it goes once we get it in there. They have short and long bars, so the short ones will be the upper, long bars will be the bottom ones. And we'll get this all set up. Alrighty guys, we got this side all taken apart. You can leave the drive shaft in. If anybody tells you that you need to, that's a lie. We just got it in without that. So, and I'm doing it just by myself. So here's the new arms compared to the old ones. So we lined them up from here to here. You can see it's about 1/2 inch to 1 inch more. And then same thing with this one. Same length. So that's definitely going to get us away from this and center this axle up correctly. Like I said, if you're running 35s or smaller, you'd be just fine. You don't need to do the arms. So let's get down to this. So most of the parts that I got here, little pry bar, hammer to knock the bolts back through, 21, 24 wrench, another one here, there. I would recommend disconnecting the sway bars. So it's a 15 bolt. Mine's damaged, so we cut it off. Just doing a new one. And sockets that you're going to need: 24, a 21, an 18 socket. The bolts are kind of mismatched all around. I'm not going to say that's a 21, that's a 21, that's an 18, da 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 da. You'll figure it out as you go. So we got this one side done. I already just pulled the axle this way. So we're going to get the upper arm in first. I'm going to shove it far that way and then push it in and then line it up. And then the bottom one, pretty easy. So we're going to swing, I will say, on this arm, the lower one, unbolt the front side, get the bolt out, let it swing down, and then this bolt can fully come out. It'll get a little wiggle room to go above the drive shaft. If you try to do it all as one, you're not going to get the bolt in or out. Now also, for the spacing of these bushings, where I said one side seems farther than the other, or how it's off put, this side seems shorter, closest to the bar, and this side seems outer. So that's the way we're going to put them in. So I laid it down the way we need to. So as soon as I pick it up, go straight in and out. So let me continue with this, pick up on that, and then we'll go to the other side right after. Alrighty, so we got those control arms out on this side, and we actually got the other side kind of binds up that I just found out. So it's okay to leave this thing kind of hanging down. You could put the jack in the middle, assist it down. These sockets are all different sizes, from 18 socket, 21 socket, 24 socket, short and deep. And the same thing with wrenches on that. Get those out. Hammer and some like little punches to push the bolts out. Any of you guys who live in a rust city, you're going to probably have to cut the bolts out. I've seen a bunch of people doing that. But let's look at the difference here. So this is from here to here, and then you can see where they line up. Yes, it doesn't seem like much, but that's the correct geometry when you do a level kit from 2" to 3" on these trucks. Now this side, the upper bolt was a pain in the butt because I have 5" exhaust and I could not get the bolt out on the top side here. So what I did was, I don't know why Dodge didn't do it the other way, because I don't know with stock exhaust if it's able to fit through. But the bolt goes this way. So I loosened it up to where it came out and then cut the head off and pulled it out. And I got the correct size bolt, 1.5" size bolt, 6" long is what it's going to be. You need 2 washers and a 1/2" nut, a locking nut, to make that even better. So that's what we got here, 1/2" bolt. Got that locking nut on this thing. So we're going to do it the opposite way. We're going to put them this way. Long bolt this way, nut on the inside, long bolt probably this way. I'm going to reverse it and reverse them all. So where the long side comes out this way. So if anything future-wise that I need to take it back apart, it's not going to be a pain in the butt. Same thing for you guys. If you guys want to do it the factory way, go ahead. So, but anyways, so the axle scooted forward, and we may need to move it just a little bit. We'll get the up sides first, or the upper one first on both sides, tuck them in there, then tuck them in the bottom side there. Get them, just the bolts in them. The bolts on this side, I would do it the correct way. Long bolt this way with the nut, because if you have to take them off and you have the tires still on, it could be easy to go this way. That bolt you don't really want to cut, because that's a fixed one with a slot in the bottom for the caster nut. So this stuff, like I said, a lot of people from the northern city gonna have to do all new bolts. So you're gonna have a fun time cutting everything out of this thing. But anywho, all right, let's get these arms in. Like I said, upper one in first, and then down, bolt, and then the bottom one, pretty easy. It kind of comes right back up in the middle, or from the bottom up. So let's get going. Also, I'd like to add on how these new ones would like to go in, because if any of you guys hit me up, or if I put the link in the title or description on how these, or where you can get these bars from, they were like $150 versus some branded other companies are like $400. Super strong stuff, I will say that. They're pretty heavy, pretty stout. The welds are pretty stout on it. I haven't seen any bad reviews on this. Some other companies had ones that would crack here and split. You're going to see a Preston side on this side. Well, when you flip it either way, they're both on the same side. Preston side, I would keep it towards the outside of the truck. That's how the old arms came out, so we're going to kind of match the same way going back in. Same thing with the other side. You're going to flip it around, bushing pressed in, outwards. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So let's get going. Alrighty guys, so we got the arms in on both sides. A little bit of a pain, but not too hard. You're going to have to use a strap. The strap is to either pull it this way or pull it that way. There's frame points that really pick it on. Now if you're just in the upper, so if you need to go back, normally you're going to grab at the highest point to get the axle to tilt whatever which way you want with the upper arm. If it's lower, grab it on the lower side. That's the easiest point to get this thing to play with you. You're going to have to use a little rubber mallet, and don't be scared to hit it up, get it in place. So we're going to leave all the bolts loose. When you get that arms on, you leave them loose. You still have your jack on the frame, and then so the same thing. I have 2 jacks, but we're going to do it like as if I have 1 jack, because most people just have 1 jack. So you're going to still have your 2 jacks on the frame, and then your actual pump jack. We're going to go up until it barely comes off, so that means it's compressed. Then we tighten all the bushings bolts up. That's when you want to do that, because then if you don't, you're going to end up tearing bushings if you tighten them when this thing's fully relaxed down. You need to have it up and then tighten all these bolts. This one, you can go ahead and get that one tightened, and then we'll probably leave it loose a little bit. You want to set it at the dead line. There's a little mark here, so you set it straight up. That should be technically good for us right now, because these things, you guys saw how much it kicks the axle forward. We should be all right from hitting this anymore. But if we do still hit, just because of these mud flaps, we'll adjust it forward, and it kicks the bottom out, which will kick the axle forward, kicking it away. But let's go ahead and tighten these down. You guys can torque them. I don't know what the torque spec is right now, but I'll put it on the screen, and we'll get these torqued uppers and then the lowers. All right, so we got this thing all buttoned up. Let me see if I can get the arms up in here. There you go, looking beautiful. Both sides all done. Truck's on the ground. Everything's pretty much all tight. Did neutral the caster bolt down there, so it's in the middle, and already the tire is super center and a lot farther from here. So that's pretty much it for this video, and hopefully that helps you guys out with anybody doing level kits on the 3rd gens. Like I said, they're not really necessary to do if you don't have like a Toyo size or smaller size tire. It's more egg shaped, so it gives it more curvature that doesn't hit. My last Dodge didn't need arms, and all we did was just a leveling kit, and it was on 35 BFGs and did not rub whatsoever on that truck. So, but hopefully this helped you guys out, and peace. See you in the next one.